Canelo versus Crawford. Let me hear it. I'm Mike Davis. We have some exciting pre-fight entertainment to get you warmed up from on location. And now it's my distinct pleasure to welcome onto the stage a Golden Globe and Emmy Award nominee and an on location ambassador, the one, the only. Give it up for Rob Lowe.
Hey everybody, how are you? It's early, but we're here, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna start this thing off in a big way. I'm really excited to be here with the on-location folks and be the ambassador because what they deliver is just next level. And as a person who loves cultural events and being a part of them, this is the way in. There's no other way to get. I mean, just look around. How sick is this setup, right? It's super sick. So, Canelo Crawford is going to be maybe the biggest fight ever between this location and Netflix. And we are here for it, so we're always going to remember it. And at the end of the day, that's what we do here. We provide memories. It's an incredible fight night. We're a part of it. We're happy to be here. Oh, be sure to enter today's 50-50 charity. You can see the gals in the black shirts with the signs walking around. It's a chance to win a total jackpot, which is already over $25K. So make sure you guys do that today. And it goes to a good cause. It goes to the UFC Foundation and also youth boxing programs in the Vegas area. So let's make sure we do that. All right, here we go. It's time to bring two legends, two of the OGs of the sport that had defined their era. And I've already taken some good pictures. And they're bringing some blankets. Next level. Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz, bring it up.
Let's go, Andy.
My guys.
How y'all doing?
Good.
What's up, guys?
Yeah.
What's up? Baby. Who you got?
Crawford. Canelo.
Oh yeah? Is that what it is?
Hay que decirle que deseamos una pelea. Deontay Wilder.
Two of the greats, man. Is this the biggest venue that you have ever seen a boxing match in?
Yeah, it's a bigger venue. You know, when I walked in, I was like, you know, it just captivates your presence of everything. Like, damn, you know, when you looking, like, wow. And then as a fighter, these are the moments right here. Like, even a retired fighter, like, damn, I got one more fight in me. I'm coming back. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? You just see these moments, and you reminisce on the big stages and stuff like that, and then you know, I mean, just the whole energy of everything.
But I was wondering if guys who are out of the game, when they get in this energy, go. I had the great fortune of sitting next to Sugar Ray Leonard when he was fighting, when Marvin Hagler was fighting John the Beast Mugabe, and Ray was like, use your jab, use your jab, and he decided that night that he would come back. To fight Hagler, because Hagler wasn't using the jab, and he ended up going back in that classic fight and beating him. So the history of boxing is one of the great things in sports. Who are the fighters that most inspired you?
A lot. Chavez, Morales, Barrera. I was with Barrera yesterday as well, and one of the big idols, you know? Some guy that goes forward, Mexican style, you know? That's what everybody wants to see. A lot of action, blood, sweat, tears, everything. So Mike Tyson, George Foreman was my favorite. So rest in peace. And and me too, you know.
All right, boys, I'm gonna go get a non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah,
So
colada.
Are you sure?
We're a good shot too.
Let's go, All right, so now somebody a lot worse looking comes on stage with you guys, but it's good to be with you. Listen, I want to break down this fight. Before we get into Canelo Crawford, I want to talk about you guys. So I want this to be the perfect appetizer for tonight's fight of the century. Is everybody ready for that? Let me hear some cheers. Okay, so you two have a lot in common. Both former heavyweight champions, both had different first loves when it comes to sports. You were baseball, you were football and basketball, but there's a true distinct difference. Even you guys both fought in the Olympics in 08 in Beijing, but here's a big distinct difference with you guys. You started fighting Deontay at 21. Andy, you at 7 years old. My first fight wasn't even until middle school. At 7 years old, take me back to that first time in the ring.
Oh, I've been training since I was 6 years old, and my first amateur fight, I was 7 years old. I did it in San Diego. Fortunately, I lost my first amateur fight, but that's what kept me hungry. That's what gave me the hunger of becoming a champion, you know. Especially seeing my dad dragging me, seeing all these Mexican legends in the fight. And there's times that I didn't want to be there, but my dad will force me to be there, watch the fight, and made me who I am right now.
It's a crazy thing, and you know, you, Deontay, you wanted to really play football and basketball for the Crimson Tide. 21, you start training, which is late for a legendary boxer. Usually guys are getting an early start. Do you think getting a late start, did it help you at all? How did other sports influence you in the ring?
Other sports influence me because every sport has a different workout. You know, just because you box doesn't mean you're fit for basketball. Just because you're fit for basketball doesn't mean you can swim 10 laps. You know what I mean? So every stage, every sport brings its value. You know what I mean? Or what it is. And yeah, you know, coming up in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the school spirit is around mostly football and basketball. And that's a young, you know, child. You want to do what you see. You know what I mean? What excites people, what motivates people. And during that time, it was my time. But unfortunately, I had a child that was on the way when I was 19 that was born with spina bifida. So those school dreams, going to college, I had to drop out of college and all that to get a job. I was trying to go to work. And then during that time, found a local gym that I never thought was dead in a million years, been in Tuscaloosa. You know, we don't hear about those things. I mean, I just felt like it was something for God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a sign. You can't do what you want to do professionally because of what's going on, and you can't go to school, but here's something you don't need school. It's because school are hard knocks. There you go.
It's crazy because, let's break down your records. Deontay, 44, 4-1. Andy, here we go, 35, 2-1. Now here's the crazy thing. Andy, amateur career, you were 105-5. Is that correct? That's before you even become a pro. So it's a lot of hours before you even get to that point. 105-5 as an amateur. What do you take from your amateur status and then parlay that and bring that to the professional stage?
Well, it's a lot of experience, you know, since I was young. I was in the Mexican Olympic team, and we got to travel around the world. And since I was young, I didn't really have a real childhood life, you know. I had to be training. My dad would go over there and try to take me out of my friend's house. But a lot of experience, man, a lot of experience, and I'm really grateful for my dad because he's the one who pushed me like to the limit. He always was looking for me, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here.
Real quickly, you know, Tuesday, Mexican Independence Day on the 16th. Clap it up for that. You're the first Mexican heavyweight champion. What did that mean to you when you achieved that?
I meant everything. This is something that I've been praying since I was a little kid. So I'm praying for the same thing years and years and years. Even though I had ups and downs, so many roller coasters in my life, people were saying, "Oh, you're too fat, you're blah blah blah, you're not gonna make it. These guys are too big." But the faith and me believing in myself got me where I'm at. So you know, if it wasn't for God and having faith, I wouldn't be here.
Listen, we remember these guys, legendary bouts with Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. You know, the crazy thing about you, Deontay, knockout to win percent. 97.72%, the highest in heavyweight history. You didn't want to get punched by you, is the bottom line. Tonight we're going to see a lot of interesting things as Crawford is going up in weight class. A lot of people are talking about, is he going to be able to handle Canelo's punch? There's nobody better to talk about handling a powerful punch. Explain to us how you got your power, how you found that, why that became your signature, and how maybe tonight Crawford can contend with that.
I mean, with the power, it was just God given. You know, I mean, I've always had power, even coming up as a young child. You know, just never knew the measurement of how much or what it could take me in life. I mean, so looking at a guy, I never thought I'd make it outside of my city. Not because I wasn't doing the right things. It just when you grow up poor and stuff, you know, your vision is very slim. You gotta really dedicate yourself and have discipline in the world and truly believe. That's why I said speak it, believe, and receive it. You know what I mean? And these are the things that we lean on, just speaking things in existence, believing that it's gonna happen. And then one day, because God said, "May not come when you want it, but it's always on time." Everything we have is always on time. Even when we feel like, now we need it right now, no, you gotta stay patient. You know, so developing the power up and then getting into boxing, you know, I really knew I had something when I got into my first sparring match. I wanted, because I was gonna go be a journalist. I needed money. I mean, my daughter needed money right now. I didn't know nothing about the Olympics, I didn't know about anything else. I saw certain things, but my information, I was very connected to the business of it. And when I knocked out my first pro in sparring, within a couple of seconds of being in the first round, he looked up at me, looked up at my trainer, and said, "Keep him in the gym, he's strong." That built my confidence from that point, and so forth on. So
it's amazing what you go on to achieve, because once you become the heavyweight champion, we hadn't had an American become heavyweight champion in a really long time. I believe since 2007. So this was a big deal for the Americans in boxing. Did you understand the iconic, you know, the iconic part about that, and all the legendary boxers before you? What did that mean to you?
I did not understand
The responsibility.
Right. And I mean, I'm just a guy that's going up in the ranges trying to provide for my family. That's it. And I mean, most of us like that. You know, I mean, most fighters come from rural areas. You know what I mean? Don't really have much and trying to provide for their families. And that's for me. With my daughter being with spina bifida, a disorder I knew nothing about, scary situation. I just wanted to make money for my family.
Was that your dream?
What's that?
Was that your dream to be a champion?
But once I got into it, for sure, you know what I mean? I didn't know what it was taking me. I wanted to be a journalist. So, because I needed money, I ain't know nothing about nothing else, you know? Muhammad Ali is one of my all-time favorites. Evander Holyfield, you know, Ernest Shavers, and all the Bevel boys. You know, I dedicated the bronze bomber, like the Browns.
Joe Louis.
Joe Louis. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So,
Joe Louis was coined the Brown Bomber, and then you Brown Bomber, and you were the Bronze Bomber. Before we get into tonight's fight a little bit more, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. So Andy, you know, of course your father had a big part in your training, but the legendary Freddie Roach, I know there's a lot of boxing geeks out here in the audience right now, here in the Twitch lounge. Tell us a little bit about the impact he had on you.
Oh, there's a lot of impact, man. Since I was 17 years old, I used to go over there to go train. Matter of fact, when I was 16 years old, I used to go over there and train to James Toney's sparring partners. So I started beating up his sparring partners, and Freddie Roach was like, "Man, who's this chubby kid? Like, he's beating up all these guys." And that's when I started, you know, getting known over there at the wall card. And then I was right there with so many champions, with Manny Pacquiao, motivated me a lot as well. So being around in that crowd with so many different fighters, and you see champions, you want to be one. You want to be one, man. That's something that motivated me a lot. But Freddie Roach, he's a hell of a trainer.
Okay, so let's get into everything with tonight, okay? The fight of the century, the build-up. There's so much excitement. Dana White being involved now in the sport of boxing. There's a lot going on. The fact that this is on Netflix, this is going to be perhaps the biggest fight of the century. So Canelo versus Crawford. I'm curious, as a boxing fan, people always talk about, is the fight won before the day even starts, or does it happen that night in the ring? And everybody has different takes on this. Is it about the preparation? Do we already know who's going to win because of what they put in before September 13th?
Anything could happen.
So what's your take on that, both of you?
I feel anything could happen, man. And the fights, of course, when in training, all the hard work that you put in there, you know. And you have to work hard because that's what gives you the motivation. That's what gives you the hunger inside. Man, I worked so hard for this. There's no way that I'm gonna lose. Like, you're gonna have that.
But then isn't that thing that Tyson always said? Everybody has a plan until you get hit in the face.
But you know, everybody have their percentages of what's mental and what's physical. For me, it's 90% physical. You know, 4% everything else is mental. 96% mental and 4% physical. You know, if you can get in your mindset that you can do this, and no matter what's going on, it's not going to affect me. Hit a win. I done trained so hard because I got to pay for all that training.
Tell me, give us the key into that, because so many guys have sports psychiatrists, all different types of people in their corner. When this is 90% mental, we all know in other sports, Mamba mentality. Kobe had that killer instinct, we all know. Tell us a little bit about your perspective. What was the mentality you needed to have when you were going into a fight?
Just to believe, believing in myself, believing that I can do it, you know what I mean? As fighters, people just look and see us, we just supposed to train, we don't have nothing else going on, just like robots, just train and fight, but that's not true. We have a life outside of boxing as well. A lot of us do more than one thing. I mean, I wear many hats in my life, in my relationships, dealing. So I have a lot of other things going on outside. That's why they say it's mental. You can't bring the outside distractions inside the ring. It's not going to mix. And people don't understand, as a fighter, we have to think so much. Defense, offense, the referee at certain times, where he's going, the judge, listening to the corners at times. Now seeing the outside distractions on the outside of the ring. There's so much that's going in. And if you bring the outside distractions, what you got going on the outside, bring it in, it's not.
It's got to be the hardest thing to do in sports. This is so different. It's mano y mano. It's hard stuff. Now, tonight, there's a lot of interesting angles we can take to approach this fight. Of course, Bud's got to go up in weight class, so that's a big deal. But the crazy thing is, a lot of people don't give Bud his due in the media and in the fans when it comes to his IQ. His IQ as a boxer, the way that he can process mid-fight is insane. And then on top of it, he can go from orthodox to southpaw in a split second. He can transform. First of all, both of you, have you ever fought anybody, ever, even an amateur career, who did that? Andy, you start.
Yeah, and
you have?
When I was in the Mexican Olympics, we're trying to fight for the Panamericanos, and I fought a Cuban guy, and he was just boxing around, doing different things, and it's just tricky.
It's tricky to deal with, right? And what about you've never even faced that, right?
I've never faced that before. I can see in that situation to be very stressful for you, especially if you feel like you're down and you don't understand the style, and then you switch up and there's a whole other side. It can be confusing.
Because even in training, you can replicate somebody fighting as an orthodox or southpaw, but to find somebody who can help you train for that, it's hard. So if you're coaching Canelo, how would you tell him to handle that situation?
You gotta adapt. Basically, that's something that's in the preparation and training, being able to bring southpaw. Pressure and adapt. Because you can bring pressure, but you can be set up in traps. But then while you're doing pressure, you don't see that trap being developed, and then you get caught because they're not switch different sides.
Okay, speaking of pressure, who has more pressure tonight, in your opinion? We have Terrence, who never lost a fight, but he's also going up in weight class, and then it's also scary because Canelo is putting himself on the line to fight a guy like that. Who has more pressure tonight, in your opinion?
I feel Crawford does, because he's moving up in weight. He's doing things that a lot of people have never done. So I feel Crawford has a lot of pressure because he wants to look good.
I believe that too, but I feel Canelo has the more pressure. You know what I mean? Majority of the people that's going to be in this is his fan coming. You know, I think he has more to lose than Crawford. Crawford, as you can see, even with the face off, he calm, cool, and collected. You don't really see Crawford get off. You don't really see people just making him, you know what I'm saying, act out of emotions and stuff like that. He live a boxing lifestyle, so he go off of that. I don't see no pressure on him at all. It's like I'm coming in, I'm giving my all, as I always do. Here I am.
And who do you put your money on? Crawford or Canelo?
I'm going with Crawford.
That's it. Andy, you took my last question.
Let's go,
You
baby.
took my last question. All right, Andy, what about you? Who are you taking?
I'm gonna go for Canelo, man.
All right, we got people split here. Real quick, last question. You guys fought on the biggest stages, the grandest stages, Madison Square Garden, Vegas. When you defeated Bourbon, you were here. Tonight, this fight, what it means for the sport of boxing, what it means for boxing moving forward. Netflix, Dana White, TKO, live in Vegas, live on Netflix, live at Allegiant Stadium. Is this the fight of the century?
It sure is, man. Especially with Turkey over here, there's a lot of opportunities. That's what they're bringing. So, especially with Netflix, and the purses are only getting bigger and bigger, and the guys are getting more motivated. So I feel it's really good for boxing.
Most definitely good for boxing. Being especially since the Saudis came in, we gotta give it. Some people love them, some people just don't like them at all because of their own personal vendettas or whatever they got. But they've been amazing in boxing. They what are excitement. People that have put on the fights that they're able to be able to put on. The dream fights. And we talking about dream, this is a century fight right here. Many people don't really see me at fights and stuff. I do a lot of other things and stuff, but this one, I had to be here for this century
You're
fight.
here for it. One more time. Give your pick for tonight. Each of you, everybody wants to hear.
Viva Mexico!
Hey man, y'all know what the deal is. You want to see excitement, you want that man to come, they're going to switch up on him, and shit, I believe he's going to knock him out.
Yeah.
There is a Crawford,
Give it up to two legends, two former heavyweight champions, Deontay